Hello everyone, Pat Dana MMA back with another video. Today I'm bringing you another Contender Series breakdown, Austin Bashi versus Dorian Ramos, week 4 featherweight matchup. You're going to kick it off with Austin Bashi here. So Austin Bashi is one of the best regional prospects in America right now. He has been absolutely lighting up the American regional scene. He's been one of the hottest prospects to date, I probably would say. 12 and 0, combined opponent record of 74 and 44 at just 22 years old. The kid is something special, man. He's fought some of the top guys in the American regional scene, and he's beaten them impressively. He's been dominant. He dictates everything about the fight. He is just such a well-rounded fighter, such a well-rounded prospect. He's just exactly what you're looking for when you're looking at potential future champions, really, because he has the tools. His hands, while his striking isn't his advantage point, he has such quick hands and he has amazing footwork and distance management. He barely ever gets hit clean on the feet. The one knock I have on his striking game is he has pretty subpar head movement and sometimes will be weaving out of the way and a little bit slow and maybe get caught on the way out, but his head movement isn't bad. It's just subpar compared to the rest of his game and how good it is. He has 5 round cardio, which at 22 years old, 12 and 0, I mean, he's been 5 rounds before. He can go 5 rounds and look completely fine throughout. His cardio is awesome, man. He's just a well-rounded fighter. His ground and pound is good once it hits the ground. He can finish a fight with ground and pound. He can finish a fight with the chokes. When he hits the floor, he immediately takes the back and will work straight for a choke. And that's where things have changed with Bashi. He was a little bit more of a decision wrestler, which was boring, and his style became a bit stale after a little bit. And then in his last 4 fights on the regional scene, he has finished all of his opponents with inside the first 2 rounds. So he's obviously shown progression as a 22-year-old, and he's now finishing fights, which is a very interesting layer to his game that just adds more and more to the story of Austin Bashi. He dips his head down when he takes people down sometimes, and there has been 2 times where someone's perfectly timed the knee up the middle when he dips his head and ducks into a takedown, and the knee has just barely missed him, but it could be a problem against a longer striker. The original matchup Bashi had was against Tommy McMillan. That was something I think that he would have been able to expose in the fight. And Bashi is small. He's 5'6". He's moving up to 145 pounds. This is just his second fight at 145. He's a very small guy for the weight class. So that's just another. The flaws on Bashi are very minimal, but the ones that there are slightly concerning just because being so small at 145 and the dipping your head can really be caught by a technical enough striker. So I think Bashi has the ceiling of a champion when it comes down to it. But there are certain things he needs to fix in his game that will take him from a potential future champion to a potential future Hall of Famer. You know, like this kid, he has exactly what you want in a prospect. Now, Dorian Ramos is an interesting tale. He steps in on short notice, just days' notice, to fill in for Tommy McMillan. He is an Arizona fighter, which that's where Tommy McMillan fights out of as well. So kind of just Bashi switch from one Arizona guy to the other. But Ramos is definitely a lot different fight than McMillan was. Ramos and Bashi is almost kind of a mirror match. Ramos does a lot of things that Bashi does as well, but I feel like Bashi does them better. So Ramos is a wild brawler. He has some power. He can throw some shots, and when he lands, he can land with some power and he can clip you, but nothing technical really. Just kind of wailing hooks, overhands, just a wild brawling style. He gets hit so much. He has horrible head movement, Ramos, and he just gets hit a lot more than you want. He is great pressure. He's early and constant with the takedowns. He kind of just, as soon as the fight starts, within the first 30 seconds, he's going to shoot on you. And it's just, if you can to prevent that takedown, you better be ready to prevent the next couple because he's just going to keep coming. He's pressure, pressure, pressure. The problem is with that pressure, he doesn't have the cardio to match with it. He gasses out in fights. In the 3rd round of his fight, multiple times now, he has gassed out. So it is something to be concerned of. He has went 5 rounds twice before. He's been to the 5th round, but in both of those fights, he clearly looked gas. Sometimes in that 5th round, 4th round, he will catch a second wind. And that's great, but this is a 3 round fight against Bashi, and third round is when he really starts to fade and when he really becomes susceptible to getting beat up. And in those moments, he can kind of shell up against the cage and get teed off on. And it just, I don't know, like he's just looks so bad sometimes and so gassed out in those middle rounds that it's not the best look against a guy like Bashi that can bring it for all 25 at the same cardio, same level. But Ramos is an amazing grappler. He's relentless on top. His control is awesome. He has an incredible ground and pound. His scrambles, transitions, reversals are all top tier. He is an incredible grappler, but I fear Bashi may be better. And then this is where I'm leaning with my prediction in this fight. Even though I think Ramos is great, and I think he easily could be in the UFC, he has too many flaws in his game to be fighting a guy like Bashi, especially when it's an exact matchup. Like the way Ramos needs to win is the way Bashi beats people. And if Ramos does that to Bashi, I'd be pretty surprised, honestly, especially on such short notice with a cardio problem already. I do not see Ramos's cardio holding up here on short notice against Bash. You just have to say it plain and simple. He can get hit in the body and gas out even quicker sometimes. He does push through the bad cardio sometimes to secure takedowns, and he will stay in the fight, but he just looks bad. And against a guy like Bashi will make him pay for that. And that will be my prediction for this fight. I think he will gas, and I think Bashi does end up finishing Dorian Ramos inside of the distance. It's more just if I think Ramos will gas in the second round because of the short notice. I'm going to lean on the safer side and say Ramos' cardio keeps up for a bit before he gets ground and pound stopped in the third round, submitted in the third round. I think Bashi gets it done in round three. That will be my official prediction. I'll go Bashi. I'll go Bashi submission round three because Ramos loves getting caught in submissions. He doesn't get submitted a lot, but he always ends up getting caught in submissions with the way he fights. So give me Bashi round three submission here over Dorian Ramos. He will. I think Bashi secures a contract with the win, and I think he will be one of the brightest prospects, not just at 145 pounds, but probably in the UFC for a bit. When we'll see, we'll have to check out how his career goes because I am very high on Austin Bashi, and I do think that he's a lot better than a lot of prospects I've watched for this season in general, and just he's just really good, man. I can't underrate how good Austin Bashi actually is. I would be shocked if he isn't a top 15 UFC fighter at some point in his career. So, with that said, guys, I wanted to thank you for coming and watching my breakdown of Austin Bashi, Dorian Ramos, week 4 of Dana White's Contender Series. I'm going to be bringing you guys another episode tomorrow, whether that be Gage Young and Quillen Sakilled or Will Curry and Jordan Santos. I guess you'll have to wait and see. But please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Go follow me on all my social medias at Pat Dana MMA on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. Show some love, man. Show some love. I'm out here trying. I'm trying to bring you guys these breakdowns, and I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying them, finding them useful for your content, for whatever you want, for whatever purpose you're using these for. So I hope you guys all enjoy, and I will catch you in the next one.